After an entire decade and a bunch of leaks, we finally have our very first trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6. The small 91-second trailer doesn't show all that much. We get a glimpse at the protagonists and the environment that we will be playing around in, that is, of course, Vice City. But despite the trailer finally coming out, I just cannot hop on the hype train. And really, you shouldn't either, because if past actions signify anything, Grand Theft Auto 6 will be the least GTA-ish title that Rockstar has ever released. The Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer released a day early after it was leaked online. This seems to be a huge problem that Rockstar Games has had in the past when it came to this game. We already knew who the protagonists of the game would be thanks to a leak that came out many moons ago that showed pre-alpha footage of the game. In this trailer, we get a closer look at them and their relationship dynamic. It was leaked that Lucia and Jason would have a Bonnie and Clyde relationship, and the trailer shows exactly that, with the duo Robin a place. We can also see that Lucia is the one who wears the pants in this relationship, which isn't exactly uncommon when it comes to relationships, but for this game, it can be a cause to be concerned about. But we will talk more about that later on in this video. The environment that is shown off honestly really does look breathtaking. I cannot wait to hop back into Vice City, as it has been many years since I actually explored the city. Graphic-wise, everything looks on the up and up, but there is one thing that stuck out to me, and that was the trailer sort of places an emphasis on social media. We know that Life Invader, the GTA equivalent of Facebook/Twitter, has been around for a while, but for some reason, the people over at Rockstar Games decided to highlight it in this trailer. I don't know if this means that social media will play a bigger role in the game than it did with the previous ones, or what exactly is going on with that. But wouldn't it be cool if in the next installment of GTA Online, we could actually use our online character's social media to interact with other people in the lobby, or even just in the entire game world? Alright, maybe it isn't exactly cool, but I just thought it might be a neat idea. Despite this trailer looking as good as a 91-second trailer could possibly look, I am still very worried about this game. In the trailer, one thing really stood out to me, and that was when Lucia was talking to Jason. We see Lucia on top of him as she asks him if he trusts her. We then kind of see her take the lead in the robbery. The reason why this is worrisome isn't because one of the main protagonists is going to be a woman, but rather because she's going to be a strong woman. All right, let me just back up a bit there before you guys get all angry in the comments section. Strong women in video games are absolutely okay. After all, the main protagonist of a game, whether that is a woman or a man, has to be strong to face the challenges that they will eventually come up against. The point when this becomes a problem is when this character progression isn't done naturally and it just feels forced. And I do think that's what's going to happen with Grand Theft Auto 6. Over the past while, we've seen Rockstar Games start to cave into pressure from SJW types. And in all honesty, I think that's partially why Rockstar Games decided to have a female protagonist, because a lot of people from a certain community were upset that GTA hasn't introduced a female protagonist for a very, very long time. I believe the only GTA game that actually had a female protagonist was Grand Theft Auto 1. But to back up my own theory, because I don't just come up with these from thin air, we can look at Rockstar over the past couple of years, where frankly, they've been catering to a certain group of people where they would have once told them to piss off. One of these groups is called Out Making Games, an LGBT group based in the UK that advocates for good treatment of LGBT people in video games, maybe good representation, something like that. Honestly, I don't know a lot about this group, and I really don't want to, as I think it's an extremely stupid concept to have one of these groups in place when it comes to video games. But it was because of this group that Rockstar Games removed transphobic content from GTA 5's current gen port. These transphobic things included a person who is very clearly a man dressed as a woman. I mean, for some reason, apparently this was controversial. Like, this stuff actually doesn't happen in the real life world. They also removed drag queens and the comments that they would make about them being on hormones. Outmaking Games claims that Rockstar purposely designed the trans characters in GTA 5 to be repulsive, and that they wanted players to relish in hurting and even killing them. Even though everyone in the Grand Theft Auto world is killable, for some reason, because these NPCs were trans, it's suddenly a bad thing to kill them. Now, instead of laughing these people off, Rockstar Games actually removed these things from the game, which never would have happened a few years ago. I mean, Rockstar Games used to thrive by making people like this cry. We had multiple news stations trying to say that Rockstar Games was the devil, that encouraged violent acts. We had Jack Thompson for the longest time trying to ban the game outright. Now just imagine for a split second if Rockstar Games had the attitude back then that they currently have today. They would have just stopped making video games altogether. But among this bit of controversy, Rockstar Games also released a little statement about the future of GTA 6. This, of course, was before all the leaks, and what they said wasn't very long, but it is very concerning. And that was that, 1, they are not going to punch down, meaning they aren't going to make fun of marginalized groups. As someone who lives in the current time, the only question I have is, who isn't a marginalized group? Because everybody nowadays is claiming to be a part of a marginalized group in the hopes of getting some sort of special treatment. The second thing that they said was the Grand Theft Auto 6 will be more culturally sensitive. The thing that made Grand Theft Auto great was that Rockstar just didn't give a crap. Everyone was on the table to be made fun of. In fact, in a lot of ways, GTA and Saints Row were very similar in their response of just not giving a crap about people being offended. But for Saints Row, we see how trying to change this and cater to a certain demographic affected the franchise. In an attempt for Saints Row to become more culturally sensitive, we saw that the developer Volition essentially killed the entire franchise. And there is a part of me that fears that Grand Theft Auto 6 will be the exact same way. Sure, we won't see Rockstar going bankrupt because they're Rockstar, but we could see Grand Theft Auto 6 becoming so bogged down with stuff like identity politics that it actually focuses more on that than the story and gameplay. I do hope that I am wrong, that my worries are completely unfounded. But with a statement from Rockstar themselves, at the very least, this game is gonna be more PC than previous GTA titles. When in reality, Grand Theft Auto shouldn't be politically correct. But what do you guys think about all of this? Do you think GTA 6 will go the rate of the Saints Row reboot? Do you think that it will be woke? Are you excited for this game? Let me know down below. Hope all you guys have an amazing and wonderful day, and if you can hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell, it would greatly help a fella out. I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.